Okay, I think we had a bit of an error there, so I'm going to really restart my. Sorry, I was talking to myself. I suddenly realised 8 minutes and nobody made a comment. So anyway, hello, my name is Martin Butler, and this is the 56th uh, uh, Tuesdays at 2. So I am an executive career management practitioner. What do? I manage and advance the careers of senior executives across the world, EMBA candidates and graduates, so Executive Master of Business Administration, and I'm a global expert in mining. So I want to share my information with you. In the last 8 minutes, I've been talking to myself. I've shared a wealth of information. I'm going to share a lot more information to you right now. I have a wealth of talent and information and an extensive network that I want to share with you during these broadcasts, episode number 56 today. And I also have a YouTube channel, which is a whole bank of information on executive career management. But I want you to ask me some questions. It doesn't have to be related to today's topic. Today's topic is 6 ways to sabotage your job search. 6 ways to sabotage your job search. The world is in an interesting place. Forget about what's happening elsewhere in political and societal wise. It's interesting what's happening in career wise as we come out of that so-called recession, the COVID recession, which has totally altered the way we work and how we work. Most of you probably watching this will be working from home, but there may be changes to that. Your boss or your company, the corporate directive, may totally change that. You've got used to working from home, and now you are being forced back to work maybe 5 days a week, or maybe 2 or 3 in a hybrid version. I know there's a lot of comments, a lot of chatter across the world about, well, how is this going to change? It's going to change you, it's going to change the world of work. And job search is a crucial element of that general career management. So please come together with some questions. Make some comments below. Doesn't have to be related to today's topic. I'm more than happy to answer those questions because I want to share my knowledge with you, the viewer, live and in the repeat when it goes recorded. So here are my 6 ways to sabotage your job search. Number 1, failure to network. This is atrocious. I see so many people who fail to network. Network brings you huge value. Connect with one person today. That person may have 500, they may have 1,000, they may have 5,000 connections. So 6 degrees of separation. Everyone you connect with has a network, but you need to be visible. Don't just hide away. Now, COVID has somewhat changed the process of networking. I myself am a fearless networker and I network across the world. I used to speak at conferences, EMBA schools, alumni, and whatever. I can't network in person right now because I'm tied because of COVID, to where I am here in Canada. But I can still network and I can still help you with your career. Just because I live on the Eastern time zone, it doesn't mean to say I can't network or help you on the other side of the world. That's what I do. I'm up early. I love to network. I love to know how I can help people, share my knowledge on career management. I network. You need to embrace networking. Don't just network while you're in career transition. You need to network while you're gainfully employed. Now, here's my networking tip for you, and please take this on board. Networking isn't just for you, it's giving before you receive. So don't just take everything that comes to you. You have to share your information, share your network. Networking works. Make it work for you. Don't be off the radar. Those people who hide in the closet or whatever, and I can understand it, especially if you're an introvert, won't have the value of networking because it's a huge component of your overall career management. The more visible you are, both on the internet, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms, even when you're gainfully employed, the better it's going to be for you. So don't hide away in the closet just because we're in COVID and use it as an excuse. You are going to need to network all the time. That network can bring you huge value, and you can bring huge value to that network. Networking works. Make it work for you. So please have some comments. I'm more than happy to answer any questions to do with career management as we go through these 6 ways to sabotage your job search. So number 1, failure to network. If you don't network, that tells me, it tells an executive recruiter and other influencers that you really aren't serious in your career. So never be off the radar. Always be on the radar. Post stuff, share stuff, write your own content, comment on people's social media posts on the internet. But be very, very careful. Don't be controversial. Don't be political. Don't be religious, because sadly we do tend to segregate those people. So number 1, failure to network. Keep on the radar. Number 2, sloppy, uncalculated approach to career management. A sloppy, uncalculated approach to career management. Your career takes up a huge chunk of your life, especially now we're working from home. Sometimes people get calls that I've heard it frequently, which they didn't before because they were 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or whatever. Now they're getting calls at home at 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, or 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. So your career is blended into your family unit now. You need to manage that part of your life, your career. Those people who manage their careers, yeah, there's lots of things that can be spanners in the works that, just suddenly you could be laid off. Who thought that millions and millions were going to be laid off across the world as a result of COVID last March, last April? But you need to, if you were laid off then, if you managed your career, you would have been back to work a lot faster than had you not managed your career. May I suggest something to you? Most of you watching today live and watching the replay will manage your finances. If you manage your career, you can give more to the people who invest your money every year to allow you to have a good retirement. So sloppy, uncalculated approach to career management is a no-no in my view. Obviously, I'm very biased, but I see those people day in, day out. I can tell those people who've managed their career and those who haven't managed their career. They are struggling. They are panicking. They are really worried. Whereas the people who have managed their career are far more content. They are ready to roll when they're terminated or whatever, because they've networked and because they have everything, all their ducks in line. So number 2, a sloppy, uncalculated approach to career management. Manage your career. So we have one. It's from Julian. Hang on, Julian. So, hi, Martin. What are the best ways to use LinkedIn to raise your profile? Posting articles and commenting. writing white papers, etc.? This is a great question, and thanks very much for coming online, Julian. So Julian says, let's repeat it again. Hi, Martin. What are the best ways to use LinkedIn to raise your profile? Posting articles and commenting, writing white papers, etc. Now, that is a question, that's a very open-ended question, but a very valid question. Don't be dormant on LinkedIn. I'll give you an example. One of my, well, actually, several of my clients have suddenly disappeared after I've dealt with them and they've got their jobs. And then suddenly, 4 or 5 years later, I see them suddenly appear on LinkedIn. So I pick up the phone and I say, "Hi, Joe." And they say, "Who is it?" And I say, "It's Martin Buckland." And they say, "Oh, yeah, I remember you." I said, "I remember you. You were going to manage your career, but now I understand you are in career transition." They say, "Well, how do you know?" And I say, "Well, Joe, I haven't seen you on LinkedIn in the intervening period. And now you are active on LinkedIn. I've seen 2 posts for you in the last 2 days, 4 posts from you in the last 2 days. I know you are either ramping up your job search or you are in job search mode." So coming back to Julian's question, what are the best ways to use LinkedIn? You should always be on LinkedIn. I would suggest, Julian, if you are gainfully employed, and I don't know your status, but if you are gainfully employed, try and post something, share something that's pertinent to you from your industry, a trade magazine, a trade article, something from a newspaper. Type in Google, have Google alerts. Google alerts can be your best friend. Google alerts were based on a set phrase, so resume writing or career coaching or executive career management. Everything that's published on the internet in the previous 24 hours is downloaded to your email, and then you can comment on one of those. You can share it, and that gives you a lot of authority. It shares your expertise. Posting articles, I would post articles frequently. I would also comment, and yes, white papers. White papers are pretty rare, but they do market you as a subject matter expert within your environment. So, Julian, coming back to that question, I would suggest you sprinkle it all around, and yes, market yourself. Use LinkedIn, because there probably is an executive recruiter somewhere in the world, I don't even know where you're based, but looking for talent like you. And if they see you active on LinkedIn, even though you may not be in career transition, they might pick up the phone and give you a call, because they might want to put you in front of a talent, or into the talent pool for their particular project. So that's a great question. So we got a question here from Bill. Oh my gosh, hang on. So, hang on. Something went on my screen here. So let's go to Bill Ashcroft. So hi, Martin. Great topic today. Your analogy of comparing the management of your finances to managing your career is brilliant. Thank you for your insights. So Bill is a frequent, he's one of my clients, and Bill manages his career, and I see him on LinkedIn, on other platforms very frequently. So he is managing his career. So you need to manage your career. Visible, network. So thanks very much for your comments. And he's got another comment here. So let's bring that one up. From Bill again. With what frequency would you advise people to post, and is it possible to overpost? Wow, yes. I think you can be too overt and post. There is a happy medium, and everybody's comfort zone is different. Well, how many posts a day are they going to take from you? Yeah, I would say, Bill, you have a very unique background in quality management, quality assurance, etc. And there's a wealth of information on the internet. I would suggest on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, I would suggest you post once a day. And there are good times. There is a platform where you can go and have a look at the best times for posting on the particular platforms. On one, it may be early morning. On another one, it may be it's about middle of the afternoon, and the next one is in the evening, where you are in your time zone. So I would suggest you share your information. You have a wealth of talent. Share it, but be very prudent. Write blogs, create a website, because everyone watching this today and listening to the recording is an expert. Social media allows you to market yourself as an authority, as an expert. So number 2, sloppy, uncalculated approach to career management. Those people who don't manage their careers will find it very, very difficult to pick up when they are terminated. And you never know when you're going to be terminated. We are in a society where you, sadly, are just a dollar value on somebody's books, a company's books. So manage your career. Sloppy career management really doesn't work. Think of it as a job in itself. If you are in career transition, you are in a full job. So number 3, typos and grammar mistakes on your resume, your CV, LinkedIn profile, and other posts so that you make throughout the day, throughout the week. We judge people. Yes, I've made typos. We all make typos. We all make grammar mistakes, but try and keep them to the minimum. Spell check doesn't always work. Don't rely on that Bill Gates spell check in Word. It doesn't always work. And also spell according to your country. So where I am, labor is spelled Labour, but in the US, it's spelled Labor. So I have to be careful because I have a global audience. So hopefully people reading my posts down in the US will understand I'm in Canada. They won't think I have made a typo. So typos and grammar mistakes in all your collateral, whether it be on the internet, like one of your social media platforms, or whether it be in your resume, your CV, your bio, and other marketing platforms. That can kibosh your potential candidacy for a job at ABC Company or XYZ. Because when somebody assesses you to go into that talent pool, they look for red flags, a way of reducing that talent pool. If you have consistent typos, you are probably gone. That doesn't tell the reader at the other end or the viewer at the other end much about you either. So typo and grammar mistakes on resumes, CVs, LinkedIn profiles is a no. Number 4, late for the interview or lack of preparation. You get to the end, you're getting interviews. And lots of people are getting interviews. Just today, I got 3 people wanting my interview tutoring services, and I can't fit them in because they got their interviews tomorrow. So there is a mass hiring right now across the world. But never, ever, ever be late for an interview. There is no excuse today if it's a Zoom interview or if it's a team interview or a WebEx interview for you being late, except for technology. If you can't get into the technology, yes, sometimes that happens. But you can't say, oh, the train was late, or the bus was late, or there was an accident on the road. Always be in that technology or in the office if it's an in-person interview 15 minutes before. Be prepared. Gives you time to really think about exactly what you're going to say and relax. It gives you a homing, a sort of sense of relaxation before you actually go on the show, because that's what it is. It's a show. You are portraying why you are the perfect candidate. Lack of preparation for an interview. You need to study what that company, you need to know their products. You need to know preferably which products or services are generating the most money, which are obsolete, how you can help them. What is the history of that company? What is the culture of that company? Who are the C-suite team? You need to do a lot of research. It's not just walking into the interview or turning up on your computer and thinking that, yeah, I can breeze this. The more study, the more evaluation you do of that particular company for the interview, the better it's going to be. And please don't be late. Anybody got any other questions? We're going to move on to number 5. So number 5, a negative attitude. Yes, now being terminated, you have that emotion, well, why me, the anger, the rage, but let that dangle, let that disappear soon after you've been terminated. The reason why you've been terminated may not be, probably is not in your control. Look at the millions again who were laid off last year because of COVID. It wasn't in their control. They couldn't control the COVID situation, but they had to kind of swallow it and then move on. So never ever show negativity. Now, people engage me as a coach. I'm a career coach, I'm an executive coach, and hold multiple other coaching certifications. They hire me because they can use me to talk about their negativity and have a session where they can unravel everything and use me as the other person, where they can get rid of all that negativity prior to moving on to positivity. So never criticize your boss, your ex-boss, your peers, or anybody. Never criticize the world. Yes, it's a troublesome world right now, but never criticize anything. You need to march on with a positive attitude. Would you hire somebody who shows you a negative attitude? I bet you wouldn't. So think about number 5, a negative attitude, criticizing your boss, your peers, and life generally. It's one of the 6 ways to sabotage your job. Anybody got any other questions? Any other comments? Anything to do with career management? So we're on to number 6. And then next week we'll have another 6. So 12 in total. Outdated skills and education. We are in an evolving world. The world turns fast. As I've been speaking here, there are new IT applications. There's all sorts of things that are being in the inventive stage. You need to keep abreast of what's happening within your own industry, and you need to keep your education up to date. Now, let me qualify that. Education doesn't mean you go spending 100,000, 200,000 for an EMBA. You can spend as little as a few $100 or a few $1,000 to get a mini MBA or something specific to your skill set and add a designation after your name. Those people who've dropped their education and haven't had any education and don't show it on their LinkedIn or their resume, their CV, since 2012 or even 2015, there's another way of screening out that person. So keep abreast of what's happening within your skill set, your industry, and go to education. Update your skills. Today, COVID has changed everything. As I've said previously in other Tuesdays at 2, I'm here in Canada. I can go and study in Australia. I can go and study in the US. I can go and study in France, in the UK, because a lot of those designations, those courses have moved online. I had one guy, he was actually a quality manager, and he took a diploma from Said Business School, University of Oxford. He's got that on his resume, and it's proved to be well worth the investment. because it's attracted intrigue in him, and it's a current trend. It's and a good university. So chatter is keep your education up to date. Yeah, you don't have to go to education every year, but I would say every 2 to 3 years, update your education. You need to do that because you don't want to fall out of that pile just simply because you don't have recent education. It's a screening mechanism when executive recruiters or HR professionals have plenty of talent to choose from, and they look at the most recent education. So that wraps it up. Let me just give you my 6 ways to sabotage your job search again, very quickly. And then if anybody's got any questions at the end, I'm more than happy to answer them. So 6 ways to sabotage your job search. Number 1, failure to network, keeping off or being off the radar. Number 2, sloppy, uncalculated approach to career management. Number 3, typos and grammar mistakes in your resume, your CV, and your LinkedIn profile. Number 4, late for the interview, lack of preparation, lack of research for the interview. Number 5, a negative attitude, criticizing your boss or your peers or something else. And number 6, outdated skills and education. Those are my 6. Come back next week and I will give you another 6. So Julian's coming with another question. Let me bring it up on the screen here. Let me put my glasses on. So Julian has said, hi, Martin. I hear often that getting a new exec role is a numbers game. And if you apply to loads of jobs, you will get one. But on the other hand, you need to really understand the company you are targeting, which you can't realistically do if you have 30 to 50 live applications. Therefore, what is your advice on how many roles to apply for and how close they are to your current skill set? Thank you. Let me just repeat that question because it's a loaded question. It's very pertinent, very true, and a lot of people need to take this on board. So it comes from Julian. Hi, Martin. I hear often that getting a new exec role is a numbers game. And if you apply to loads of jobs, you will get one. But on the other hand, you need to really understand the company you are targeting, which you can't realistically if you have 20 or 30 or 50 live applications. Therefore, what advice on how many roles to apply and how close are they to your current skill set? Thank you. Great. So let me break that question down because it's a multifaceted question. You are a product. You are marketing yourself. Professional marketers don't market like this. They market within a targeted area. And remember, something I haven't mentioned today, that the bulk of jobs are hidden. So if you have a company you want to go and work for, don't just rely on job boards. They may never appear on job boards. They may never use a job board. They may never use an executive recruiter. They're waiting for resumes to land in the decision makers' hands at that company, ABC company or XYZ company. So target, market. Yeah, you don't want to be that wide. You want to be very, very narrow. Now, if those 30 or 50 live applications are in this rather than this, that's okay. But don't go out of your skill set. Only apply for jobs where you have about 85 to 90% of the skills, or 100%, of course. Don't apply for jobs where there's 85% less, because you're damaging your brand, and you won't get that job. You're wasting your time. You're wasting the hiring authorities' time too. So as we come out of this so-called COVID recession, there are plenty of jobs for all the viewers, the live viewers, plus the recorded viewers, right this minute, waiting for you. But the bulk of those jobs are within your target companies and the hidden jobs. So I would suggest, Julian, if you have got hidden jobs, if you have got targets, I would suggest you target market and use that as the backbone of your job search. So hopefully that's answered your question. We got another one coming in from George. Hi, George. How are you? So George says, thanks, Martin. Just to follow up, I used some advice from a prior chat and send a handwritten follow-up letter following an initial interview. I still believe this can work, but in my instance, the HR person sent an email when I followed up, basically stating that I had to be more patient. Then I got the canned email response identifying they hired another candidate. I thought the letter would at least allow me to gain some insights, learnings, why I was not selected, but no luck. Totally ghost. I'm sorry to hear that news, George, but was that particular person, the HR manager or the executive recruiter or whatever, who was the hiring authority, that was their own perception. But you could do the same approach to another job you applied for and got an interview, and that would work. So keep it up. The idea of job search is conquer the fear of rejection. I know it's tough. None of us like to be rejected, but many times during job search we are. So there's some great questions here. You followed up stating that you had to be more patient. Yeah, that's sad that person said that, but look at it the other way. At least you did get a reply. It wasn't the reply that you wanted, but you did get a reply. So I would suggest you send after the interview, and I've expressed it many times on Tuesdays at 2, after the interview, snail mail. Remember snail mail? That's an actual physical card, an actual physical envelope, and you put that stamp on, you address it to that person. Snail mail a thank you note. Go and spend a little bit of money on some thank you notes, because that is another differentiator. It didn't work for George this time, but it might work for him later on in the week or next week or the week after. Hopefully you're going to get some traction, George. George says again, another question, when applying for jobs, do you recommend targeting a LinkedIn invite to the individual you will report to if you got the job, or will HR feel undermined? I can't remember, George, which country you're in. I think you're here in Canada, but anyway, so the percentile of jobs that aren't advertised varies from country to country. Here in Canada, we have the lowest percentile, and I don't know why it is, but we have the lowest percentile of any jobs advertised in the world, only 8 to 9%. So where did others come from? About 12% is executive recruiters, so we've just hit 20%, and the rest is hidden. So I would suggest you target, yes, you're a product, you're sending that product to the market, you want to go and work for ABC company, uncover on LinkedIn the person who would be your boss or your boss's boss, and see if we can come back to that first sabotage your job way of a job search is network with him or her. So networking really brings you value. Yes, you're not going to get a reply from everybody, but I would suggest the more you do it, it is a numbers game. Somebody, I think Julian said, it is a numbers game. The more people you connect with, the closer you are to a win. So it is a race, but be in it for the long haul, because sometimes it can take up to 6 months or even 7 or 8 months. But as we come out the economy, that 6 or 7 or 8 months is now being reduced, because talent, I'm now starting to see, is sort of becoming, it's more for the viewer, the employee, rather than the employer. And as the year comes around and goes into the fall, that will definitely change more to the employee. So keep it up, George. You're doing a good job. If I can help, just let me know. Anybody got any other questions to do with just general career management? So hopefully you've understood some 6 ways to sabotage your job search, 6 cardinal sins of job search. Things can go wrong in your job search, but you want to go from A to B in the fastest possible way. So I appreciate you asking the questions today. If anybody's got any other questions, I'm going to put my email at the bottom here, so then you can email me, and I'll be happy to answer those questions. Just put that you were in on Tuesdays at 2, and I will be happy to answer those questions. So there we go. Martin at analyteresume.com. Just mention, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn. That's actually the fastest way. More than happy to answer any questions. But let's wrap this. Tuesdays at 2, number 56 up. Well, I'm more than happy to offer anybody a free, no obligation resume critique. I will give you 25 minutes for free of my time, but I say it as it is because, as you said earlier on, you only get one kick of the can here. One mistake on a resume, one mistake on a CV, one mistake on your LinkedIn profile can count you out of that job search, especially typos. And also, please go to my YouTube channel and press the subscribe button and the bell button where you will be notified of many future videos. There was one released this morning talking about spelling in different countries of the world. So that's quite a humorous video. Please go and have a look at that video. I recorded it a long time ago, but it's just gone on my YouTube channel today. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, press the bell button. Anybody want a free resume critique? I'm more than happy. You can send it as an attachment in LinkedIn, or you can send it as attachment to my email below in the comments section. So thanks for being with me this week. Let me just tell you what the topic is going to be next week. We're going to do another 6 job search cardinal sins. 6 ways to sabotage your job search. So join me next week, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great week. Enjoy your time. Thanks very much, George. Enjoy your week, and I'll be with you back next week for another 6 ways to sabotage your job search. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.